We all have seen this picture. It's a classic that's been around for years. We smile, we laugh. But have you ever asked yourself the question, what if the toilers with the square wheels were right? I am Christian Human, consultant, author, blogger, YouTuber. I've asked myself this question and I share my answers in this episode. To find the picture, I type "no thanks" in the Google search bar. Among the proposals, there is "no thanks, we are too busy," which is the one I'm looking for. I select pictures and large size, and here are the multiple copies and variations of this famous picture. This picture is extremely well known and continues to appear regularly on various online publications and in PowerPoint presentations. It depicts our very distant ancestors very busy carrying out their task. Their dedication to achieving their objective leads them to decline the suggestion that could make their lives so much easier and their work much more efficient, namely replacing the square wheels of their cart with round wheels. This picture, the representation, speaks to us because we are familiar with the round wheels and we know well that pulling a cart with square wheels requires a lot of energy compared to the same one equipped with round wheels. That is, if the square wheels can turn with such a heavy loaded cart. The situation is absurd to the observer, refusing this solution, pretending to be too busy to pause, when precisely the solution should save considerable time and energy. This picture also recalls real-life situations which we all have witnessed, people clumsily carrying out a task or faced with an unsuitable organization. Consultants in particular frequently see these types of situations among their clients' team. These analogous situations reinforce our acceptance of the message, and we are therefore on the side of the laughers, having fun or despairing at seeing cases that recall this picture. Except that the cart pullers may have good reasons to refuse round wheels. What if they were right? And are we not a little hasty in our conclusions? What would you say to the same scene if I added a new element to it? The original picture, in absence of any other indication, leads us to believe that the wheel is indeed an improvement on the situation presented. However, if we assume that the ground is covered with thick fresh snow, the solution based on the pair of wheels loses its relevance. As a result, not knowing what the nature of the soil is, mud, loose sand, fresh snow, ice or hard ground, the message that this picture should convey loses its salt. And this is how you can blow the nose of the next smart guys who shows it to you with a smirk and a little too sure of himself or too sure of herself. There is no reason to reserve self-importance for man. Another quick and common interpretation of the scene is to conclude that the promoter of improvement faces resistance to change. The actors are so stuck in their habits that they are reluctant to consider a change. This conclusion is drawn without even exploring the other possibilities that the change matrix reminds us of. Quickly, it is a question of comparing the advantages and benefits, but also the disadvantages and risks of changing, but also of not changing. This gives us a 2x2 matrix like this. I offer you a concrete example taken from my own experience and illustrating the justified rejection of wheels, or rather of an improvement that the solution promoter praises. I use cheap, mainstream software to edit the videos I post on my YouTube channel. This is not great despite frequent updates, and I regularly complain to myself about all the drawbacks I have already noted, including completely useless customer support. An observer seeing me having bad days would certainly offer me a different software, which is the equivalent of the wheels of the famous picture, while I drag my limitation with the current software. His argument would fill the advantages and benefits of changing box in the matrix. Switch to more stable, more advanced software and reduce irritation due to the instability of the current software. no longer suffer from crashes, loss of unsaved work, no longer pay for updates that add gimmicky features but don't fix old problems. I would then oppose it, because I already have done this analysis, with the following list of disadvantages and risks. Duration of learning and getting started with the new software, possible other or new frustration with the new software, other or new limitations that must be learned to circumvent, possibly higher price. And he would call me resistant to change, disappointed not to have a resounding success with his idea, and probably annoyed at not having thought to look behind the scenes. I could even explain to him the advantages and benefits of not changing, which he has not taken the trouble to identify. Maintain an attractive price for updating every other version. Maintain speed of execution by knowing the limits and the workarounds. Stay able to post videos at the usual pace. Maintain consistency with video already online. And I would concede the disadvantages of remaining with the current irritation and limitation. But all in all, I can live with it and continue without changing. From my professional experience, I remember production operators who performed their task with such a speed and ease that it was difficult to distinguish unnecessary or unergonomic gestures. They found a way around the difficulties and had become accustomed to this execution. Unlearning and relearning other gestures would cost them time and energy, which from their point of view was not worth it. They reasoned according to the same matrix and did not find sufficient advantages in changing or disadvantages in their method of execution. To return to the picture and its metaphor, in the case of companies, the rejection of the wheel solution can also come from another reason. What if our two friends are making their last delivery before retraining in logging in the snowy mountains, the new ice age arriving? A sled is then more suitable than a wheeled cart, and their refusal of wheels is legitimate. They can also cease their activity because their fortune is made. Finally, our green alien friends load their flying saucer and leave this high-gravity planet so as not to return. They therefore do not see the point of adopting round wheels, an innovation which comes too late. In conclusion, I hope I have convinced you to be wary of appearances, of solutions that seem obvious, and of the importance of verifying hypotheses. When you are tempted to propose wheels to your colleagues or your clients, first consider exploring the matrix and checking if your proposal is as relevant or brilliant as you seem. Also check if the proposed solution is sustainable or if you arrive too late. Finally, in certain cases, we must insist on and impose solutions that are actually better and lasting. But this requires a mixture of pedagogy, conviction, firmness, and support. If you like this video, please give it a thumb up and share it. Please remember that the pictures are credited to their legit author or copyright owners.